Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving into some rather provocative topics around Trump's Golden Dome missile defense system, as highlighted by Theodore Postol. It's a fascinating look at missile defense and nuclear escalation risks.
I'm all ears. So, we're talking about a defense system that's not just about intercepting missiles, but also about triggering, broader strategic risks.
Exactly. It's like we're not just discussing a high tech shield, it's about the cascading effects. The so called Golden Dome, as Postol highlights, is seen as a game changer that could, well, escalate nuclear tensions rather than de escalate them.
Yes, I get it. So, the system is designed to intercept ballistic missiles, but the real controversy comes from what potential misinterpretations and over reliance could mean for global nuclear stability.
Right, exactly. Postol, who's an MIT professor and a Pentagon advisor, comes across as really cautioning about how claiming a near impenetrable defense might sort of create a false sense of security that could lead to miscalculations. It's like stacking the deck
Yeah,
in ways that
definitely.
might provoke a dangerous response.
Yeah, it's almost paradoxical. When you say defense, it makes us feel more secure, but in this case, it's actually sowing seeds for an arms race.
Absolutely. And think about how the Trump administration often touted this system as an impenetrable golden dome shield. Here, the irony is that by promoting such confidence, you might actually drive adversaries to, well, bolster their offensive capabilities or even consider preemptive actions.
That's a tricky dynamic. So, are we saying that an overly optimistic missile defense can inadvertently spark escalation?
Yes, exactly. It's like when one side builds a super fortress, the other might feel compelled to create more powerful offensive weapons to neutralize that fortress, or at least that's the risk. Postal warns that this kind of move can create a dangerous cycle of misinterpretation and escalation.
I can understand that. But doesn't a strong defense, in theory, deter potential attackers by reducing the chance of a successful strike?
That's a common argument, right? But here's the catch, it's not as straightforward. While missile defense can lower vulnerability, it also sort of destabilizes the strategic balance. This is because adversaries might start doubting the credibility of mutual deterrence, and in a tense environment, that can lead to, hasty decisions or even accidental
Yep,
escalation.
exactly. So, in a sense, the defense might actually encourage a proactive posture among potential adversaries, making things riskier.
Precisely. And Postol explains that by presenting the Golden Dome as this foolproof system, it could encourage a kind of reliance that might, in reality, backfire in a high stress scenario. That overconfidence can lead to misjudgments during a crisis.
Isn't that a bit of a double edged sword? On one hand, you want to protect, but on the other, too much protection might invite or even, well, provoke escalation.
Exactly, it's like a balancing act. The idea is that the defense is there to protect, but if the adversary perceives it as an unfair advantage, they might ramp up their offense, and then everyone's on edge.
That's a sobering thought. And what about the cost benefit angle here? I mean, do we have any historical precedents where such defense systems had unintended consequences?
Well, while we haven't seen an exact match in modern history, the Cold War is a perfect analogy. Back then, moves by either side to enhance their defensive systems often led to an arms race. It's like a chess game where each move is met with a countermove,
Yeah, like
sometimes
a
resulting
never-ending
in rapid
cycle.
escalation.
That makes sense. But don't some argue that technology like missile defense is necessary to keep pace with evolving threats?
Absolutely, it's not a baseless pursuit. There are legitimate security concerns. But the challenge is the very development of these technologies, like the Golden Dome, might lead to a strategic miscalculation. It's a case where the potential risks of nuclear escalation might outweigh the defensive advantages if the system fails under unexpected conditions.
So it's a situation of trying to protect yourself while simultaneously provoking your potential enemy. It really highlights the paradox of modern defense strategies.
Exactly. It's like, imagine fortifying your castle so impressively that your neighbor gets so uneasy they decide to build a bigger catapult. Except here, instead of catapults, we're talking, about nuclear capabilities.
Yeah, that's an intense analogy. But let me challenge this point a little. Some critics argue that missile defense systems, even with their potential downsides, serve as a necessary countermeasure against rogue states or accidental launches. What do you think of that perspective?
That's a fair perspective. However, Postol cautions that while missile defense can indeed mitigate some threats, it isn't a silver bullet. It's more like a temporary shield that might, unfortunately, set off a chain reaction of mistrust and escalation among the major powers. Those critics might be overlooking the broader consequences in favor of addressing immediate concerns.
I see what you mean. So, essentially, the promise of missile defense could culminate in an arms race that even the most cautious policymakers might regret.
Exactly right. This is where Postol's analysis really gets interesting. He underscores that the rhetoric around an infallible defense system, like the Golden Dome, can dangerously mask the inherent instabilities it introduces.
Absolutely, that's a critical insight. And the video also seems to suggest that there's a disconnect between political bravado and technical reality, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like a mismatch between the hype and the actual capabilities of the system. Postol points out that the system is touted as revolutionary, yet its practical reliability in a real-world crisis is, well, still up for debate.
That's a crucial critique. It really brings home the message that even state-of-the-art technology might not be enough to overcome the fog of war and political pressures.
Exactly. And it stresses the importance of not letting technological optimism override sober strategic and ethical considerations. It's like a cautionary tale in modern defense, where success in one arena might lead to peril in another.
Yes, it reminds me of that old saying, the road to nuclear escalation is paved with good intentions. Would you say that's an apt description here?
That's a perfect analogy. It's like trying to outsmart your opponent without fully grasping the potential ripple effects. Postol makes it clear. Your defensive moves can be interpreted as aggressive maneuvers by others, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of fear and militarization.
Yeah, that's really compelling. And honestly, thinking about the global response, it's clear the international community would be on high alert. Such a system could inadvertently trigger an entire reordering of strategic policies worldwide.
Absolutely. And there's a broader lesson here about the unintended consequences of advanced military tech. While innovation is essential, unchecked deployment without rigorous strategic analysis might just backfire.
Agreed. So, summing it up, it's like we need a more balanced approach. Invest in defense without letting it tip the scales toward a dangerous spiral of nuclear escalation, right?
Exactly. The key takeaway is not to overpromise what technology can do in the realm of nuclear strategy. The narrative around the Golden Dome, driven by political hype, should be carefully scrutinized to avoid severe miscalculations.
And that's the critical part, ensuring that our pursuit of security doesn't end up undermining it. It almost makes you wonder if a more measured approach could actually promote long-term stability instead of risking irreparable escalation.
Right, it's a high-stakes balancing act. While advanced defense systems have their place, we must also consider the broader geopolitical consequences. Basically, security measures need to be implemented with a deep understanding of their strategic ripple effects.
Yep, that's the heart of the matter. Definitely. This discussion really underscores how defensive technology isn't just a matter of engineering, but deeply entwined with political psychology and international trust, or the lack thereof.
Exactly right. And it's a timely reminder that in the realm of nuclear strategy, technical prowess must always be balanced with political prudence. The conversation around Trump's Golden Dome forces us to re-examine these assumptions.
Well put. Ultimately, it invites us to think critically about how defense narratives are crafted and, more importantly, how they might inadvertently shape global security dynamics. Thanks for unpacking all of this. It's been really insightful.